There's a difference between leading with soul and leading with strategy, between sharing your truth and managing your image. And right now, in the heart of Hollywood, that contrast is playing out in real time between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. But this isn't about celebrity drama. This is about the masks we wear, the truth we avoid, and whether you're living from your heart or performing for approval. This story, it's a mirror, and what it's reflecting back to us could change everything. So take a breath, let the energy land, and let's begin. Hey, Soul Family. I'm Cherry, your spiritual life coach, energy alchemist, numerologist, and the mirror you didn't know you needed. I'm here to help you stop people pleasing, drop the facade, cut the energetic cords, and reclaim your power by living from the heart, not the mind. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't play in surface level spiritual stuff. I give you the tools, the soul truth, and the sacred kick up the arse that your next level requires. And today we're diving into a conversation that's exploding the cracks in the illusion, because the contrast between Blake Lively's image-focused promotion of It Ends With Us and Justin Baldoni's heart-led commitment to truth and trauma healing is not just entertainment and gossip. It's a transmission, a message, a wake-up call for every one of us who's ever performed healing without feeling it, who's ever prioritized approval over authenticity. So if you're tired of spiritual bypassing, fed up with fake empowerment, and ready to lead with heart in a world obsessed with optics, you're in the right place. And before we go any further, if this message is resonating, if your soul is nodding, or if you're feeling that little sting of, shit, she's calling me out right now, then make sure you subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell so you never miss a soul truth drop. Comment below to tell me whether you have been performing instead of living your truth and what part of this story hits hardest for you. This is a space for growth, not perfection, a space for calling it out and then calling it in. And I want to hear your voice in this conversation. I come with the truth, with fire, with heart, and always with love. Because right now, something is moving in the collective, something big. And most people are too distracted, too numbed out, or too caught in their own survival mode to see it clearly. But you're different. You feel the shift. You hear the inner whisper. You know that the old ways are crumbling and the masks are slipping. And what's being exposed right now in Hollywood is just a mirror for what's happening in the hearts of humanity. I'm talking about the energy behind Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni and the rising controversy around the film It Ends With Us. Now, I can already hear some of you saying, why are you talking about this? Who cares about celebrity drama? Let me stop you right there, because this is not about gossip. This is not some clickbait takedown of a famous people we don't know. This is about consciousness. This is about what happens when ego tries to hijack heart, when manipulation is masked as leadership, when spiritual disconnection shows up dressed as confidence, and when soul-led integrity quietly stands its ground in the middle of the storm. It's about heart versus ego, integrity versus image, presence versus performance. And yes, this is your wake-up call, because this drama, this moment, this tension, it's a divine mirror. It's showing you who's living from the soul and who's just performing, spiritual bypassing with a polished PR smile. So if you're here, nodding along, feeling the heat rise in your chest, your intuition pinging like crazy, or that deep ache in your gut that says something's off with the world, and I need to see clearly, you're in the right place. Welcome to the revolution of truth. Welcome to the frequency of heart-centered living. Welcome to the channel where we call out the ego, but never the soul, where we speak truth with grace. We hold space for healing, and we never water down the medicine. Welcome to my space, because this moment, this topic, this energy right here, it's more than a movie. It's a lesson, a coded transmission from the universe saying, it's time to stop living through fear, image, and survival, and start living from soul, truth, and radical self-love. So take a breath, let your shoulders drop, turn your heart on. Let's talk about It Ends With Us is really exposing, and how to make sure you're not living from the same disconnected programming that's being revealed on the big screen. So let's ground in the facts before we take the soul dive. Here's the quick recap if you've only caught snippets or rolled your eyes at the drama. Justin Baldoni, actor, director, and heart-led storyteller, has been working on bringing It Ends With Us to the big screen for over 5 years. Yes, 5 years of vision, intention, and emotion to turn a book about trauma, survival, and healing into a film that could move hearts and potentially open up conversations around generational pain and the cycles that we repeat in love. Justin didn't just show up to direct a movie. He poured his soul into this. He's known for his faith-based integrity, his commitment to truth, and his refusal to glamorize toxicity for the sake of ratings. And you can feel it. Every interview he's done, every behind-the-scenes glimpse, every quiet act of reverence for the subject matter. It was all coming from a place of deep purpose. Enter Blake Lively. Now look, we're not here to demonize Blake. This isn't about making her wrong or shaming her as a woman in the industry, but we are here to be honest about energy, because energy doesn't lie. Blake was cast as Lily, the lead character, a woman with deep wounds, painful memories, and a tender inner world, a character that required softness, emotional transparency, and a connection to something bigger than surface performance. But from the moment trailers dropped and images leaked from the set, fans felt it. Something was off. The tone was wrong. The depth was missing. It felt hollow, overproduced, disconnected from the raw emotionality that made the book such a powerful experience for many readers. And when you zoom out and look at what was happening behind the scenes, it all starts to make sense. Reports surfaced about creative tension between Blake and Justin. Word is, Blake wanted more control, more say over how her character was portrayed. There were conflicts, disagreements, resistance. One major piece that shocked the fandom, Blake didn't even read the book. The book the entire film was based on, the emotional blueprint, the spiritual heartbeat of the story. She skipped it. And listen, whether that was about time, ego, or image control, it matters. Because when you're stepping into a project that's deeply about trauma, healing, and breaking generational patterns, and you bypass the foundational work that gives it meaning, you're not just phoning it in, you're misrepresenting something sacred. You're trying to lead without doing the inner work, and that energy always shows. Justin spent years creating this with love. He collaborated with the original author. He held the vision through delays, rewrites, and pushback. And yet when it came time to bring that vision to life, the energy shifted, the integrity cracked, and the heart of the story got diluted. Now let's talk about what's really been making people uncomfortable. Beyond the film stills and awkward trailers, Blake is now coming out publicly talking about trauma, finally acknowledging the heavy emotional themes in It Ends With Us. But let's ask the real question. Why now? Why didn't this come up when the film was in production? Why didn't she speak on this when the teasers dropped and fans were already expressing concerns? Why was the conversation back then all red carpet glam, product promotion, floral dress gimmicks, and cheeky banter? Because here's what actually happened. Instead of leading with vulnerability, Blake led with image control. She promoted the movie like it was just another romantic drama. She pushed her alcohol brand. She cross-promoted her hair care line. Not a mention of domestic violence. Not a single ounce of reverence for the millions of women who saw themselves in Lily's journey. No acknowledgement of the spiritual weight this story carries for both the readers and the survivors. She performed the role on set, then she performed the PR. She joked through interviews, offered tone-deaf responses when asked about sensitive subjects, and never once grounded the conversation in the gravity of the film's real message until the backlash came loud and strong. Now that people are calling out the lack of depth, now she pivots. Now she's using the language of trauma. Now she's leaning into the hardest role she's ever done narratives. Now she's speaking to survivors and emotional sound bites. And maybe some of that's real, but here's the thing. Truth isn't just what you say, it's when you say it and how you say it. If the intention isn't there from the start, it doesn't land as soul truth. It lands as strategy. And the heart can always tell the difference, because real trauma work doesn't wait until your image is on the line. Real heart-led storytelling begins before the cameras roll. It starts with reverence, with humility, with willingness to sit in discomfort, not market it when it's safe to do so. Energy never lies. And that's why so many people are feeling off, because when someone shows up in true service to a story about healing, you feel it in your bones. You soften, you trust, You remember your own pain and you feel seen. But when someone shows up with control, spin, and projection of image, you recoil, you feel manipulated, you sense the dissonance, and make no mistake, this PR pivot is damage control, not devotion. And let's not ignore what's happening behind the scenes. Blake's PR has been posting sarcastic tweets to defend her, discredit fan concerns, and mock people for caring. This isn't leadership. This is damage control, dressed up in elitism. It's classic Hollywood spin, gaslighting the public, silencing dissent, and shaping the narrative to protect the brand. It's ego, full stop. And this is exactly the kind of energy the collective is done with. We don't want polished statements written by someone's PR media team after they've tested the waters. We want soul, truth, presence. Why? Because when control and ego enter the room, authenticity exits. And now that the backlash is real and the criticisms are loud, she's finally pivoting. Let's talk about trauma. But it's too late to act woke when the energy was off from the beginning. You can't skip the soul work and then expect to wear the badge of emotional depth just because the press tour demands it. That's not healing, that's hijacking. Now compare that to Justin Baldoni. This man never once wavered from the message. From the very beginning, even before criticism rolled in, Justin made it clear that this film wasn't about glamorizing abuse. He said, "We were very intentional in the making of this movie." He worked closely with intimacy coordinators and trauma-informed specialists. He created safe spaces on set. He honored the emotional gravity of what they were portraying. And when people began to critique the film, Justin didn't just clap back. He didn't hide. He acknowledged the hurt. He validated the concerns. He reiterated his commitment to telling the story with heart, not hype. That's real leadership. That's masculine energy in alignment. That's what it means to stay grounded when things get messy. He even wrote a public letter to survivors, honoring their resilience and pain, not from a place of performance, but from embodied understanding. He shared his own experiences of emotional trauma, not to take attention away from the survivors, but to stand beside them. Justin didn't wait until things fell apart to speak from his soul. He led with integrity from the beginning, even when it was hard, even when it meant creative disagreements, even when it meant holding space while someone else diluted his vision. That's what a divine masculine man does. He doesn't dominate the story. He honors it. He holds it with care. He makes sure it tells the truth, even if it costs him comfort. There's a difference between leading with soul and leading with strategy, between sharing your truth and managing your image. And right now, in the heart of Hollywood, that contrast is playing out in real time between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. And here's where the soul lesson kicks in, because this isn't just a case of artistic differences. This is a spiritual example of what happens when people come together for a powerful mission, but not everyone's on the same vibrational page. One is building from heart, the other from image. One is asking, how can I serve the story? The other is asking, how can I shape the story to serve me? And this is what we're being called to notice, not just in celebrities or Hollywood, but in our own lives. Where are you showing up without fully reading your soul level blueprint of what you're involved in? Where are you bypassing the emotional depth of something because you're more focused on how you'll look than how you'll feel? Where are you using control as a shield to avoid vulnerability? This moment with Blake and Justin is more than a creative disagreement. It's a microcosm of the collective divide between those living from the mind and ego and those living from the heart and soul. And here's the truth. The old is breaking down. We can't fake depth anymore. We can't bypass the healing and still expect to lead. We can't pretend to honor trauma while being unwilling to face our own. Blake's actions, whether intentional or unconscious, are shining a light on the kind of energetic misalignment that's been normalized in powerful spaces for too long. And Justin's response, measured, grounded, heart-led, is a beautiful template for what real leadership looks like when things don't go to plan. So, my love, are you seeing the deeper lesson yet? This story isn't about who's right or wrong. It's about who's aligned with heart and who isn't. It's about where we choose to operate from and how that choice shapes everything we touch. Are you ready to explore that with me? Because now you're ready to step into the soul lesson that this whole public fallout is inviting us into. Let's go deeper, because here's where the soul lesson kicks in. Now let's talk about what's really been making people uncomfortable beyond the film stills and awkward trailers. If you're listening to this thinking, damn, I've done this too, good. This is your wake-up moment too. We've all in some way tried to perform healing instead of actually doing it. We've all tried to look the part before we were actually ready to feel it. We've all tried to fast forward our growth to avoid discomfort. But the medicine here, the big cosmic invitation, is this. Healing doesn't happen on someone else's timeline. You don't get to market trauma for profit if you haven't respected the soul. You can't dress up in empowerment and expect us not to feel the emptiness underneath. And this right here is why discernment is so sacred in this heart-led revolution. Because we're not here just talking about celebrity drama. We're talking about a culture of manipulation, of false light, of washing spiritual and emotional truths for personal gain. And the collective is done with it. We are no longer impressed by curated feeds, polished pressed interviews, and timed apologies. We are calling for something real, something sacred, something heart-led. And that's why Justin Baldoni's energy stands out so clearly in this situation. He didn't wait until things fell apart to speak from his soul. He led with integrity from the beginning, even when it was hard, even when it meant creative disagreements, even when it meant staying quiet and letting the truth rise on its own. That's leadership. That's embodiment. That's what it means to live from the heart. So ask yourself, where are you being called to stop performing healing and actually feel it? Where are you being invited to return to truth over image? Where is your heart asking you to speak, even if your ego is begging you to stay silent? Because this is what the public drama is mirroring back to us. Not just the celebrity divide, but the inner divide between your truth and your fear, your performance and your presence, your ego and your essence. And the good news, you don't have to be perfect to shift. You just have to choose truth every single day. Are you ready to go deeper into that choice? Because when leading with heart and purpose, from the outset, Justin Baldoni approached It Ends With Us not merely as a cinematic project, but as a mission to shed light on the realities of domestic violence. As both director and actor portraying Ryle, Baldoni was deeply invested in ensuring the films authentically representing the complexities of abusive relationships. In interviews, Baldoni emphasized the intentionality behind the film's creation, addressing criticism that the movie might romanticize domestic violence. He acknowledged such concerns and clarified the team's deliberate effort to portray the subject matter responsibly. He stated, "We were very intentional when we were making this movie. Understanding the sensitivity requires from such topics." The last thing he wanted was to have the male gaze penetrate these very important moments that needed to be told in a truthful way. Beyond the production, Baldoni extended his commitment to advocacy. He penned a heartfelt letter to survivors of domestic violence, expressing solidarity and admiration for their resilience. In the letter, he wrote, "You embody resilience and courage, qualities that shine bright even on the darkest days." Baldoni's dedication wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal. He was sharing his own experience of emotional and sexual trauma from a past relationship, highlighting the importance of addressing abuse from all perspectives. This vulnerability underscored his genuine commitment to the film's message. His approach exemplifies what it means to lead from the heart. His unwavering focus on the film's core message, combined with his personal vulnerability and a commitment to authenticity, sets a standard for how stories about trauma should be told. In a world often driven by image and performance, Baldoni's integrity serves as a beacon for genuine heart-led storytelling. This is bigger than them. It's about you. This isn't just about Hollywood drama or celebrity feuds. It's a reflection of the choices we all make daily. Are we aligned with authenticity, or are we caught in the web of performance and control? So what is embracing authenticity? In contrast, Justin Baldoni's consistent focus on the film's message about domestic violence and healing exemplifies a commitment to authenticity. He engaged in open discussion about the film's theme and his personal experiences, creating a space for genuine connection and understanding. This invites us to reflect on our own lives. Are we willing to embrace vulnerability and authenticity, even when it's uncomfortable? Are we prepared to let go of control and allow our true self to be seen? So what is the collective shift? The contrasting approaches of Blake and Justin highlight a broader shift in our collective consciousness. We're moving away from curated personas and towards genuine heart-led living. This transition challenges us to examine where we might be holding on to outdated patterns and invites us to step into more authentic ways of being. This moment serves as a mirror, reflecting the choices we face in our own lives. It's an invitation to move beyond performance and control and to embrace authenticity and vulnerability. By doing so, we align ourselves with the rising tide of heart-led living, contributing to a more compassionate and genuine world. This is a mirror for the collective. It's a reflection of the broader transformation occurring within our collective consciousness. The contrasting approaches of Blake and Justin illuminating the dichotomy between outdated paradigms and emerging heart-led leadership. What does this mean for the old paradigm? Control over connection. Blake Lively's initial promotional strategy, For It Ends With Us, exemplified the traditional model of control and image management, emphasizing aesthetics and personal branding over the film's core themes of domestic violence. Her approach mirrored the old paradigm, where the power and control overshadowed vulnerability and authenticity. This mirrors a broader societal pattern, where individuals often prioritize curated personas over genuine connection, leading to emotional dissonance and a disconnect from one's true self. What does this mean for the new paradigm? Heart-led leadership. In contrast, Justin Baldoni's approach embodied the principles of heart-led leadership by focusing on the film's message and sharing personal experiences related to trauma. He demonstrated integrity, vulnerability, and commitment to serving a higher purpose. This aligns with the emerging model of spiritual leadership, which emphasizes authenticity, compassion, and a deep connection to one's values and purpose. Such leadership fosters environments of trust, collaboration, and genuine connection. Now, the collective shift, the contrasting approaches of Blake and Justin, serves as a microcosm of the larger shift occurring within our society. We're moving away from hierarchical control-based models towards a system that values authenticity, empathy, and heart-led leadership. This transformation is evident across various sectors of business to spirituality, as individuals and organizations recognize the limitations of the old paradigm and embrace more holistic, inclusive approaches. This moment serves as a powerful reminder of the choices we face daily. Are we aligned with the outdated models of control and image management, or are we embracing authenticity and heart-led leadership? By choosing the latter, we not only foster personal growth, but also contribute to the collective evolution towards a more compassionate and connected world. The world is choosing now. And here's the thing that most people are missing. Living from the heart is not soft, it's not weak, it's not the most rebellious thing you can do in a world built on performance. It means honoring your intuition over someone else's opinion. It means feeling everything, not numbing out to survive. It means speaking truth, even if your voice shakes, even if it costs you the spotlight. And I know you're feeling it, that pull, that ache, that moment of, I can't keep living like this. You weren't born to be a watered down version of yourself. You weren't meant to be another curated product. You were born to be free, to be heart-led, to be whole. And if Blake's performance taught us anything, it's that we can't fake alignment. You can't act your way into a soul truth. It's felt, it's real, and it can't be bought or edited or PR'd into existence. But this isn't about celebrity drama. This is about the mask we wear, the truth we avoid. And whether you are living from your heart or performing for approval, this story is a mirror. And what it's reflecting back to us could change everything. So take a deep breath, let the energy land. So now, my love, let's bring it back to you. Are you leading from your mind or living from your heart? Are you forcing outcomes or flowing from your soul? Are you performing for the world or finally coming home to yourself? Because you don't need a bigger platform. You need deeper integrity. You don't need more followers. You need more truth. You don't need to fix yourself. You need to remember who the hell you really are. If this stirred something deep in you, if you're ready to release the performance, the pressure, the protection, and finally reclaim the real, raw, radiant you underneath it all, your invitation to live differently. So now I ask you, are you leading from your mind or living from your heart? Are you forcing outcomes or flowing with your soul? Are you performing for the world or coming home to yourself? If you're ready to come back to your truth, I invite you to book a self-empowerment strategy session with me. This isn't about fixing you. You're not broken. It's about remembering, unlearning, coming back to the raw, real, radiant version of you that doesn't need to perform to be powerful, because the new earth is calling and she doesn't need more polished personas. She needs you, the real you, the heart-led you, the you who knows the truth in your bones and isn't afraid to speak it. You in? Then it's time. Book your self-empowerment strategy session with me. Let's clear the noise. Let's dismantle the conditioning. Let's rebuild your life around your soul, not your survival patterns. The new earth doesn't need more curated personas. It needs you, the heart-led whole, honest you. You in? Links in the description with fierce love, fire, and the deepest truth I can hold for you. Until next time.